Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Martin and I'm the Director of Global Business Networks at the British Chambers of Commerce here in London. I'm absolutely delighted to be leading what is a third session in our Slovenia Insight series of events. Today's podcast will feature a discussion about the business opportunities available in Slovenia. Now the UK has left the EU, members are looking for conveniently sited countries within the EU bloc to set up distribution hubs, to import from Asia, or even to move their production facilities to. Slovenia is a dynamic location which will be of interest to many of you who might be considering investing in or setting up a business in what is described as this incredibly friendly EU country. Its highly educated English-speaking workforce and strong focus on creativity and sustainability makes it both a welcoming and convenient place for members to work with. As an additional benefit, their port is situated in the Mediterranean, offering a really crucial gateway to Asia, and that really is quite a USP for the country. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Barbara Juranjek, the CEO of the amazing British Chamber of Commerce in Slovenia. This is a very active and dynamic chamber that promotes trade between the UK and Slovenia with many events, roundtables, and delegations to the UK and back. They're also, they were awarded the Best Chamber of the Year in 2018 by the former Council of British Chambers of Commerce in Europe, which is actually a network that is now part of the wider British Chamber of Commerce network. Hello, Barbara. I'd really love to hear more from you. It's lovely to be with you today. Tell us more about where Slovenia is and what it's known for.
Hi, Anne-Marie, and welcome to everyone who's listening to us today. So, Slovenia, I don't know, did you know that Slovenia is the only country in the world with love in its name? And Slovenia is ideally located in Central Eastern Europe. It has a little bit of the Alps coming down from Austria and Italy. It has a bit of the sea, so the Adriatic coast, a great strategic position. So you can be in Venice in 1 hour from the border, in Vienna in 1 hour, in Zagreb in 1 hour. So very good strategic position. And it was part of Yugoslavia 30 years ago. So it's a small country of 2 million people. And because it's so small and has many neighbors, we speak many languages. It's one of the greenest and safest countries in the world with a high quality of life. And it's been part of the EU since 2004. We have the euro since 2007, and also a good connection with British Airways, EasyJet and Wizz Air from Ljubljana directly to London.
So very, very easy to get to, amazing people, and I can vouch for the country I've visited, and it was a great pleasure to spend time with you and the team at that time. So tell us a bit more about sort of British investment in Slovenia. You know, who's there, what sectors, what are the interesting bits, the USP, shall we say?
So the UK ranks 6th in terms of FDI investment here. Obviously, we have most investment from the neighboring countries and Austria and Germany. Mm-hmm. But main manufacturing from the UK is GKN Driveline with a really successful manufacturing unit. Titus Group also moved their headquarters now to Slovenia because of great success. Mm-hmm. There's also investment in pharma, in green tourism, because Slovenia is becoming a green boutique destination. Lots of investment in robotics lately, especially mm-hmm. from Japanese investors, and also some real estate investment. Mm-hmm.
And what makes it interesting to such a diverse global cohort? I mean, obviously we're talking about British investments, but there are a lot of multinational investment in Slovenia as well. You know, what is it? Why is it so interesting?
So as I mentioned earlier, a great geostrategic position with a good quality infrastructure.
Yeah,
which is good if you want to set up a regional hub here for Central Eastern Europe and the Adriatic countries. It has a port, which is cost efficient, fast, and greener. to move cargo from Asia to Central Europe. It has a workforce which is innovative, skilled, and very highly educated. We have a really good education system.
Yeah.
And if you come here, you will be able to converse in English, no problem. If it's in a hotel, a supermarket, a business meeting, everyone speaks English.
Yeah.
Everyone speaks like 2 foreign languages. We're also hardworking. So Slovenes are known for having this Austrian-German working ethics and culture. Then if we look at the government strategy, which is focused on green, creative, and smart, Slovenia is very environmentally conscious. As I mentioned, one of the greenest countries in the world. We have a high density of forests and a lot of investment into R&D centers. We have a lot of engineers and scientists and a good cooperation with universities. So lots of innovation going there. And one of the highest labor productivity in Central Eastern Europe.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Barbara. Finally, it'd be great to hear from you. How does the chamber help foreign investors? This is crucial for companies.
I think this is one of the probably best invested things that British investor can do in Slovenia is contact the British Chamber of Commerce, because we have very good connections with government institutions. So we can help investors with subsidies, locations, partner matching. We have good connections with different regions and their development hubs, with mayors of cities. We're very well connected locally with businesses and companies, and also help companies lobby if they have some issues. And I'd like to also mention that we cover trade for the British Embassy here. So we also have a great relationship with the British ambassador, and also good connections with the Department of International Trade. So all of you thinking of changing location, looking for location in Central Eastern Europe, very welcome to contact us, and we'll help you set up here.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Barbara. It was lovely to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Our next session in our Slovenia Insights podcast will focus on the port of Koper as the gateway from Europe to Asia. Slovenia is very lucky to have a piece of the Adriatic Sea, and with it a very strategic port situated in the Mediterranean, offering a crucial gateway from Asia to Central and Eastern Europe. My next guest comes from the Port of Koper. Susanna Zoldana Vrabec has experience in marketing, PR, and journalism. She is a management consultant and senior expert at R&D, sales and marketing, project development at the Port of Koper. She's currently responsible for institutional relations, business development, and port community relations. Susanna, welcome. It'd be lovely to hear more from you about the port. So let's start with, where is the Port of Koper situated? What kind of road, rail infrastructure is in place for cargo arriving there?
Hi, Anne-Marie. It is nice to see you once again, and I say hello to all our audience. Koper, how to explain you? For the one who has not been in the area yet, I would say it's a tiny place of Adriatic Sea, located 2 hours from Venice. And only, let's say, 3.5 hours from Vienna, approximately 4 hours to Budapest, and another 4 hours to Belgrade. So yes, let's say some people say, oh, this is a Switzerland of Balkans.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
We as a location are interesting for those of people or industries who are thinking about moving their cargo or commodity towards, let's say, from Far East, Near East, Asia to Central Eastern European countries, or distributed as far as UK. And I made an example last time when someone asked me, so tell me one commodity which would pass Koper and will end in, let's say, London market. And these are fresh, now is the season of fresh strawberries or fresh vegetables coming from North Africa markets such as Egypt or Israel, and are finishing on London market. Or maybe fresh flowers coming through. On the other hand, we have some commodities which are typically well known or close to us, and this is cars. Let's say brand new cars which are passing Koper. So you can find at our port from needle and to live cattle, live animal. Or big projects like parts of industry. Different.
So very, very diverse. Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant. That's really good to know. Thank you. And what are the benefits of Koper versus North EU ports from, for example, for cargo from Asia, particularly in terms of cost, time, energy savings? You know, tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Anne, for asking this. But for example, for the one who is looking on a map and trying to figure it out, where is the shortest route to pass, depending obviously on the market which you are serving, you can obviously clearly find out that it's the shortest route if you are going from Suez Canal and you try to reach Munich. Because if you compare Munich area with Hamburg, you can find that there is approximately 300 kilometers differences, where the short route from Northern Adriatic, so namely from Koper, it's shorter than going on the north of Europe ports. This is one simple geographic fact. Then if you're calculating that on this route, you are less time using your capital to be involved for this transportation needs. This is obviously you are saving not only time, but also money. And on the other hand, because the route is shorter, not only on the seaside, because obviously if the vessel is going through Suez Canal and entering Adriatic, it's approximately 2,000 nautical miles shorter than going through Gibraltar up to Northern European ports and Hamburg. So in this respect, you are emitting less CO2. And on the other hand, you are emitting less CO2 also while transporting inland.
Brilliant. In fact, that brings me on really well into the sustainability element, because Koper port is actually considered to be a green port in terms of its carbon footprint. So tell us a bit more about that. I heard from somebody told me that you make your own olive oil and honey because you've got this clean air sort of zone within the port. We talk about free zones, but actually this is clean air zones. You know, tell us more about that. I'm fascinated.
Well, you know, obviously I live in a neighborhood of the port, and most of the people who are working in the port are local people. So obviously, since many years, we, as anyone else, would like to live in a nice area, and most of Slovenia is green and nice, and we want to keep it as such. Also in a logistic industry, which one is not thinking it's let's say the most greenest one. One, when it's thinking about transport and logistic, is thinking, oh, something that it's emitting a lot of CO2. So since many years in the port, we started to think about it. So when developing the port, we were thinking about also planting some tree within and between our terminals, having some honey bees houses within the port, planting flowers. And this is something which is implemented in our DNK. So all the people who are working within port are thinking in this way. Obviously, this is not enough. Also, all our equipment, it's modern with latest technology, run on the fuel, which is not, so it's more greener than in the past, and so on. So different areas we are focusing.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Just to draw our conversation to an end, you know, if people want to hear more about the port, how they can get involved, how they can potentially become customers of the port, what should they do? What's the next step? Would they talk to Barbara? Would they come direct to you?
Oh, well, obviously, I think Barbara and her colleagues will be more than happy to help and put us in contacts or direct. But anyone can also contact us directly or on any of our means via classical telephone, mobile, email, or simply visit one of our platforms on a web, LinkedIn or whatever, and we will be more than happy to assist.
Excellent. And presumably you welcome visitors to the port as well.
Yes,
if delegations were coming from the UK, for example.
In about 2 weeks, we are going to organize open day.
Excellent.
Also for just not only business, but also purely families or inhabitants or any visitors.
How wonderful.
It's an open day. We are all looking forward to it because it's after COVID, a kind like a fest within the port. So it will be nice. So you are more than welcome. And Anna-Marie, I know that you might not think, but now in our area, it's nice climate. It's pretty warm. So
no, I am a great fan. Thank you so much, Susanna. It has been lovely to spend some time with you today. Thank you. See you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Our next session in our Slovenia Insights podcast will focus on business opportunities in the regions of Slovenia. Podravje is a region in the northeast of Slovenia between Austria and Hungary, historically known for its strong industry and particularly in automotive. Its development agency offers many incentives for foreign investors, which is why we're talking to its project manager, Peter Eckhart, today. Peter has more than 20 years of experience in internationalization, developing and managing EU projects and FDI activities, and is really well placed to be able to be with us today and to give us some more information about the regional opportunities. So Peter, welcome. It's good to have you with us today. I wanted to ask you, first of all, what are the main sectors of industries that you're sort of promoting in northeastern Slovenia? It'd be great if you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you for welcoming me here, and thank you for introducing me. My name is Peter Eckhart, and I'm coming from the Regional Development Agency Podravje Maribor. We are the Central Development Agency in the Podravje region. Together with the partner institution, is the most important link for the development of the municipality of Maribor, as well as all other 40 municipalities in the Podravje region. To the vital function it performs, it must represent the best service to municipalities in the field of regional development, project support, drawing European projects, networking, attracting investors, tourism development, smart specialization, and of course, support to the business environment. And now back to your question. We have a broad interest of SMEs and bigger companies here in Slovenia, and especially in the Podravje region, but I will outline 5 of them. The first one is machine manufacturing, where the robotics, printing, offset machines, bakery machines, and wood processing machines are more than welcomed here. The second one is ICT, which is information and communication technology or technologies.
Mhm.
The next one is e-commerce, where includes all the warehouses and offices. The next one is tourism, and the last one, logistics. Those are the five our core sectors we are right now attacking.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And what would you say are the main benefits of investing in your region of Slovenia?
Okay, we all say that we have 7 good reasons to invest in the Podravia region. The first one is availability of high qualified, educated and multilingual workforce.
Mhm.
Slovenia has a very well educated population with excellent foreign language skills. Availability of a high qualified, educated and multilingual workforce. We have almost 40% of students graduated in science and engineering.
Mhm.
And we have almost 40% of the population which speaks at least 3 foreign languages. Our core languages is English and German, and depends of the Slovenia when we are talking of the east or the west, then is Hungary language or Italian language. Also self-motivation and efficiency are integral part of Slovenian business culture. The second one is strategic location and lucrative access to the eastern part of Europe, including Western Balkan region. Setting up a company in Podravia means setting up in the heart of the Europe. Strategic location and access to the central and eastern part of Europe, including the Western Balkan region. Moreover, we have excellent location in the EU with excellent road and good railway infrastructure, and excellent position and connections also to port of Koper. The third one is perfect logistic infrastructure and world-class ICT properties. Due to its geographical position of Podravia region can be used as a gateway to the regional markets, and thus to the investor can benefit from expanding their business through regional supportive environment, including pro-business infrastructure. The fourth one is solid industrial base with tradition. The Podravia region has enjoyed the reputation of a strong industrial region in the past century. Today, Maribor and region Podravia is still the larger industrial town in the region. Nowadays, the processing industry accounts for 45% of the total revenue of the Podravia region. Companies from this region supply industries on a global scale for automotive, aviation, and space industry. We encourage also clustering, networking, and cooperation. The fifth thing is reliable suppliers. The sixth, initiatives for strategic investments, which I hope we will talk a little bit later. The seventh and the last one, but not the least, is the exceptional quality of life. The Podravia region is a picturesque, hospitable, and nevertheless a safe place with many different landscapes. This way, the region represents a land of numerous tourist destinations, an attractive place for sports and recreational things. Main attractive features of Podravia are ski resort, interesting destinations for hikers, mountaineers. We have golf courses, we have 8 natural spa resorts, we have lakes, rivers, we have a wonderful culture and history in our town. We have culinary specialties and also so on and so on. And also public transportation and telecommunication are well organized and reliable due to the implementation of the latest technologies. The healthcare system is well developed, and nevertheless, Slovenia is also known as the country with the lowest crime rate in the world.
Yes, there's a real balance there between the sort of social, the business, the culture environment, and a real balance between work and play, essentially, which is really, really important too. Thank you so much. You've mentioned sort of support for companies. It would be really great to know just a couple of key points around, on a practical level, how you actually do help companies once they've reached out to you and are showing some real interest and are really looking at committing as well.
So very punctual. Our services are divided into four subgroups. The first subgroup is site selection. We assist companies in the site selection process, providing data required for due diligence. We provide data-based and fact-based analysis. The second thing, gathering specific information. We assist companies in the process of realization of the investment, guiding them through local procedures from establishing a company to taxes. The third thing is helping investors. We check if the investor can gain the status of the strategic investment. And in accordance with that, we are assisting in negotiation process for governmental initiatives. And the last and not least, of course, investors aftercare, which is extremely important for us, includes a regular contact with investor and offering and providing them all necessary information and support which are relevant for the investors. Moreover, we link investors with all appropriate local authorities, research and development institutions, and nevertheless with other investors in the region. This is, I think, the first part of the question, and the second part are the subsidies, which are very interesting for all audience, I think. Subsidies in Slovenia, we can divide them in four groups. The first group is tax initiatives. The corporate tax rate of 19% is among the lowest in the EU member states, with the effective tax rate after all tax deductions being much lower. Corporate income tax can be reduced differently according to the type of investment, which could be a research or development or whatever else, invested amount of money, and the third, employing a certain type of employee. The second one is local initiatives. Municipalities, which is Maribor and all other 40 municipalities which I'm representing here as a Podravia region, may offer different types of initiatives. They are negotiated on a case-by-case basis. These initiatives may include easy access to industrial sites, which means roads and all things, utility connections, and holidays from local taxes. The third one is training and employment initiatives. The Slovene Employment Service of Slovenia carries out a series of measures to encourage employment, through which it advises and supports employers that employ new workers. Employers who intend to hire unemployed persons may apply for free training and retraining provided by local employment offices. And the fourth one and the last one are the investment grants, which are divided of the high of the value of the investment. The first one is grants for projects in the value from $500,000 to 1 million. The second one is up to 12 millions. And the third one is strategic investments. If the strategic investment if the investment comes to the status of the strategic investment, this is the process, and service industry, the value of the investment must reach at least 40 million, for example, euros, and create at least 400 new jobs. What is also something very interesting also, that the Podravia region is in some special status in Slovenia, and we have some kind of maximum aid intensity for our region, which is 30%, where can be increased by 10% for investments made by medium-sized enterprises and by 20% for investments made by small enterprises for their initial investments, with eligible cost up to 50 million euros. For detailed information, please, on grant requirements, you can touch with us or contact us after.
Excellent. Some great incentives. Thank you. In the interest of time, I know we're running short already. If you were to pick one of the most interesting sort of investment opportunities for the region at the moment, which project would that be in your view?
Now we have more than 100 investment opportunities, which are on the scale from ready to go to the preparation phase, meaning from few 10,000 euros to almost 50 million euros and more.
Okay.
At the moment, we have identified and published on our websites around 80 investment opportunities.
Okay.
But please bear in mind that we have at least the double of them unpublished. Maybe I have listed 5 of them and prepared. They are from the building land, they are then to the health resort, to the electric vehicle for disabled people, to the digital currency wallet, and a conversion of diesel bus vehicle to 100% electric. So maybe the best thing is to visit our website.
Absolutely,
which is www.investopportunities.si. And you could look around our investment opportunities, and there are also our contact details for further information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with us today. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Our next session in our Slovenia Insights podcast is focused on business experience. It's always really good to hear actually from businesses direct, particularly British investors in Slovenia, about their experience on the front line. There's nothing quite like it really, but drawing that experience from the front line. So I'm very pleased to have 2 people with me today who can do that. We have Patrick Davidson. He's been in business with Slovenia for more than a decade, owns a real estate company, building renovations, investments, helping foreigners to find and renovate a perfect building for themselves in Slovenia, or to build a new one also. He's worked in this field in Russia, Central and Eastern Europe, and the United Kingdom. And our second guest is Julian Hammond. He first started his career as an accountant, or in accounting, whichever way we want to put it, but has always been more interested in science and engineering, which is very interesting. As a result, in 1996, he founded Blackthorn Environmental Limited, which is a specialist company in purifying exhaust gas from diesel engines. In 2019, he also founded White Beam, which is focused on reducing emissions from cooking and heating processes. I understand he also moved to Slovenia and started a production and manufacturing unit there. You've been very busy, Julian. Let me start with the first question to Patrick, though, if we can. So, Patrick, from your experience, what makes Slovenia an interesting destination in terms of tourism development?
Hi, Anne-Marie, and firstly, thanks for having me on the podcast, and greetings from a very hot Ljubljana. It's 27 degrees.
I heard, yes.
I suppose, yeah, from experience. So, I can draw like my own experience and also experience from the clients that we represent in investing into and helping develop real estate in Slovenia. I suppose first and foremost in the in the sector that we're involved in tourism is that Slovenia is probably the fastest growing tourist destination in Europe, and amongst one of the fastest growing in the world. So and it has a lack of hotel and self-service accommodation. So simply by supply and demand, there is a shortage of stock, which makes it very interesting for investors looking at that in that area. From also from my personal experience, it's very easy to do business here in terms of accessing good specialists in the field of development and construction. So accessing good lawyers, real estate lawyers, architects, and engineers. There are very strong specialists in each of those fields, and able to communicate in a number of different languages, and especially English. So from a sort of ease of doing business, that is a very good plus point. And I suppose more sort of real estate specific is there is still very good access to off-market opportunities in Slovenia, what we would sort of term more primary stocks. So Slovenia is very early in its development curve, so there's a lot of primary development opportunity, which makes it very interesting. from, you know, those that are more familiar with the terminology from a yield, like real estate yield perspective, the value and the development in that area is very good indeed.
I also understand that quite a bit of tourist infrastructure is still state-owned. I mean, from a privatization point of view, is that something that's interesting to foreign investors?
To be honest,
not
really. I mean,
right.
I suppose that, you know, doing business with the state from a real estate perspective is not easy in any jurisdiction. You know, I've got experience with that in Russia and also in the UK. It's not easy. It's long. But I think more importantly, the Slovenia's the government strategy on tourism at the moment is more focused on boutique tourism. So a lot of this these old state-owned tourism assets are more linked towards the past, you know, mass tourism market. And to be honest, there are a lot of opportunities from private owners that are far more interesting. And it's much easier to you know, to do business with those people.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much. Julian, if I can move on to you. So you founded White Beam, focused on reducing emissions, big, massive focus for all businesses these days. Tell me more about that, you know, why Slovenia, basically, from that point of view?
Well, it was driven by Brexit. We had to move out of the UK because of Brexit, because most of our customers and most of the market is in the EU.
Yeah.
So we had to choose somewhere in the EU. And for our business, we sell a lot into the wood stove industry. And the wood stove industry is focused around Central Europe. Yeah. And we also sell into the commercial catering industry, which is based in Italy. So we're well placed in Slovenia to service customers in the surrounding kind of 500-mile radius. And also Slovenia is an environmentally aware country, which for us is important because we're an environmental business. So we want to be somewhere which has also got high standards for the environment. Another factor also is that, you know, just a bit south of Slovenia, or south of Croatia anyway, you've got a lot of former Yugoslavian countries which are probably going to join the EU at some stage. And in order to do so, they're going to have to clean up their environment. Yeah. So they're going to be needing help with that, which is something that we could offer. So I think there's going to be business in the future in reducing pollution in the Balkans. And English speaking, the fact that the people here generally speak English is a big advantage for us as well. Yeah, I could imagine, for communication purposes and transfer of knowledge, etc., etc. I also know that from Barbara and the team that you collaboration and cooperation with scientists in Slovenia is crucial to your business as well. Tell us more about that. You know, your experience there and how you found that and why it's so important. Well, yes, we've got a relationship going with the National Institute of Chemistry in Ljubljana, and they provide us with consultancy services because we're involved in chemistry, and there are certain things in chemistry where you need some very expensive equipment, for example, which they've got. So they can provide us with access to their equipment and also with access to their knowledge. And potentially in the future, we might be able to employ somebody that's got done their PhD there as well. So we've got the kind of scientific backup that we need here in Slovenia. And also there's quite a good infrastructure of private sector suppliers as well in the chemistry sector. We found people to supply equipment and can supply analytical services. So there's a bit of a sort of there's a fairly well developed supply chain here in Slovenia. That's excellent. Thank you so much. I know that's only a very short insight into both your industries, but in the interest of time, I want to ask you both just one final thing is, what's your key takeaway? What is the one piece of takeaway that you would impart with any potential investor from the UK or anywhere for that matter into Slovenia?
I would say I'd say it's safe. You get that feeling that that it is a safe environment. Okay, it's, I suppose, on the fringes of the European Union, but safety from an investment perspective is obviously key, and you get that feeling here, definitely.
Brilliant. And Julian?
Yeah, I'd say it's a high quality country. It's not a cheap country by any means, but if you're in a business where your products are high end and they need to be right, either high end or they need to be, meet a defined standard, then you're going to get quality in Slovenia, which you might struggle to get elsewhere.
Excellent. Thank you both so very much. Thank you. On a final note from me, I just want to thank the team at the British Slovenian Chamber of Commerce for your support for organising our podcast, which has been organised and delivered in partnership with the British Chambers of Commerce, the British Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, and Spirit Slovenia. Thank you very much.